hear the applicant. I'd appreciate it. Can you hear me on the Vivid? Let's see. Let's come up the audio here. Emily, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Right. Sir, on the Vivid side, can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. Sorry.
Okay, great. Welcome. Can you give me your full name, please?
Trevor Gorman.
Okay. Is that Gorman?
Yes,
Okay, great. And I have you down as the applicant on this project?
correct.
All right, fantastic. Are you expecting anyone else to join us for this hearing on your end?
Nope.
No? Okay, great. Let's go ahead and get started. I need to read through our hearing script. This will just cover the procedure for the hearing, and then we'll get into it. We also, of course, have Emily A. House, who is the zoning administrator in the Department of City Planning. All right, this is the November 27th, 2024 session of the zoning hearing examiner docket. Case before us is case number ZH20240136. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and any other parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any other party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent first present the applicant's case. Excuse me, if we had anyone here from the public, they'd have an opportunity to speak after the applicant had presented its case. I'll allow the planning department to offer any comments if they would like. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to respond to those. That argument offered in opposition, and then finally the applicant can make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. And let's see, the last thing to do is just swear in our witnesses. If you intend on providing any testimony here today, the zoning code requires that I swear you in. So if that's you, if you could raise your right hand, I'll need you to answer out loud. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, great. Emily, did you want to say something there?
I was just being sworn in.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were trying to get something else. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and get started. Mr. Gorman, typically I just like to hear what the project is, what you're proposing, what the relief you need is, and why you think that's appropriate. So I'll turn it over to you if you're ready.
Sure. Yeah, the project that we're working on is Panda Express on Glenway Avenue. I actually don't have the exact address written down, but
6180.
What's that?
6180.
Yes, 6180. We're proposing a sign on both sides of the building. It's a corner lot in the strip mall there on Glenway Avenue. I believe the way that the code is written, we're only allowed to have one street-facing sign, but we felt like the corner of the building was both street-facing, so we were proposing sign on each side of the building that's visible from Glenway Avenue.
Gotcha. Okay, and so today it looks like, well, so what's the current signage on the building look like?
There's currently a Panda Express logo on the Glenway most facing side of the building, and then on the other side of the corner, there's channel letters that say Panda Express, and then there's actually a mural of a panda over the other door on that side of the building as well.
Okay, so you're applying to try to get that signage on the west side that says Panda Express permitted. Is that right?
Yeah, basically, so they're rebranding and upgrading their signs. And from my understanding, the original signs that are there now were not properly permitted. We did not do those signs, by the way. That was a different vendor, but they were not properly permitted. So if we remove them, obviously, we can't put up the same signs the way that the code is written.
Gotcha. And is that, how much bigger is the new signage with the new branding compared to the existing signage?
It'll actually be less signage than what's currently there.
Okay.
Because they're removing the panda logo.
Gotcha. The painting of the panda on the west side?
Yes.
Like the image? Okay. All right. Anything else you'd like to tell me before I turn it over to the planning department?
Oh yeah, just there's several other businesses within a quarter to a half mile that are in a similar situation visually, that are on a corner, or some that aren't even on a corner, that have more than one elevation. Specifically, directly across the street, there's a Athletico Physical Therapy that has signs on both sides of the building. There's a Tri-Health up the road, has the same, a Bank of America, and then a Prada Italian Street Eats. Just to name a few, I went through and looked. There's about 10 or 12 other businesses in a similar situation that have signage on both sides of the building on a corner lot.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I'd be surprised if there's anyone outside the zoning division that can name more of these types of signs on Glenway, because I have approved quite a few of these in the past. But
Yeah.
okay. Thank you. Emily, did you want to add anything to this?
Sure. Kate Meehan's staff report sort of really clearly evaluates the project. As the applicant said, we don't have a permit history for the signs that are existing on that elevation that look like they went in 2010. It's also, though, not something we receive complaints on at the city in terms of visual clutter or adverse effects from the amount of signage from what's existing, and they are reducing the existing signage square footage. Our finding overall is that there are special circumstances to the site in that it's a large shopping center configuration with a large surface parking lot. So this end unit, it also has an angled design. And so the side elevation isn't technically considered to have street frontage, but it is highly visible from Glenway Avenue, like a storefront with street frontage. And if we calculated the signage permitted with that elevation as street frontage, they would be within the total square footage permitted. So as it stands, they need that 7 square foot of total signage relief. But if we were counting that elevation as street frontage, they wouldn't need any square footage relief.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks, Emily.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Gorman, anything you want to say in response to Emily's comments or anything else in closing or otherwise before we adjourn?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I think we can leave it at that. I've had a chance to review the application materials and the staff report, and based on that, and based on again, some my experience and knowledge of this corridor along Glenway, I think other properties have enjoyed similar relief. So I am going to approve the application. I need to formalize that approval in a written decision. I mentioned that at the beginning, that typically takes about 2 weeks. As soon as I finish the decision, I'll put it into a PDF. I'll email it to you and to the zoning division. And as soon as they have that, they can approve the permitting on their end, take the next steps.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Okay, great. Any questions about the process or anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, great. Well, if you do, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, good luck with the project and have a great day. We're adjourned.
You too.